Good day, everybody. Welcome to the Bible in the year 2021. We are on day 247, and we are looking at Ezekiel chapters 25 through to 27. So in this section, we find Ezekiel called upon to do the same as Jeremiah had to do. He was given prophecies to speak out to the various nations. So this is interesting because everything that Jeremiah was doing in Jerusalem, we find Ezekiel doing in the captivity. So in verses 2 to 4, human one, face the Ammonites and prophesy against them. Say to the Ammonites, hear the Lord God's word. The Lord proclaims, you laughed when my sanctuary was degraded. That's a mocking thing. When Israel's fertile land was laid waste and when the house of Judah went into exile, therefore, I'm handing you over to the people in the east for them to take possession. They will set up their encampments against you, establish residence, devour your fruit, and drink your milk. Don't laugh at Yahweh or anything that belongs to him. The Moabites in verse 8 to 10, the Lord proclaims, because Moab and Seir say, aha, the house of Judah has become like all the nations. I'll open the flank of Moab from the cities at its border, the land's splendid cities, Beth Jeshimoth, Baal Meon, and Kiriathim. I'll hand it over along with the Ammonites to people in the east for them to take possession. And so Ammon will no longer be remembered among the nations. And then there's Edom. The Lord God proclaims Edom acted with excessive force against the house of Judah. The Judeans were guilty, but Edom's vengeance was excessive. So the Lord God now proclaims, I'll overpower Edom, eliminate all living creatures, and make it a wasteland from Teman to Dedan. They will fall by the sword. The Philistines, the Lord proclaims, when the Philistines set out to right the wrongs done to them, they enacted revenge with utter contempt and old hatreds. So now the Lord God proclaims, I will overpower the Philistines, eliminate the Shethrites, and obliterate all who are left along the coastline. Tough for the nations. And then Tyre, really the rest of it's about Tyre. You know, it's just Tyre was something that was really important to Yahweh, the position of Tyre, the blessings that had been poured out on Tyre, the prominence of Tyre, how important it is. But we read this, human one, because Tyre laughed at Jerusalem, the gate of the peoples is broken. She lies open before me. She is destroyed, but I will succeed. The Lord God now proclaims, Tyre, I'm now against you. Just as the sea hurls up its waves, I will bring many nations up against you. And that's going to be it for today. If you want, you can read through those two chapters again if you want to see all the things that are said about Tyre and all that the Lord was planning to do against them. But we've already gone through all this. We went through all of this with Jeremiah. So just wanting to just take a moment and appreciate the fact that Yahweh considers that all nations belong to him. And I keep emphasizing that all nations belong to him. All governments belong to him. And, we'll turn around and say, well, this government is evil or this one is good. And we have our criteria for that. But all of them are considered as tools to Yahweh that he uses to move his agenda forward. We really need to trust him in this. We really do. It doesn't mean that we don't speak up against injustices. We're supposed to. We're absolutely supposed to. We are supposed to continue to proclaim righteousness, what is holy and what is common. That's our place. Not with condemnation. That's for the Lord to do that. But we can continue lifting up righteousness. We demonstrate, don't lift it up unless you're going to demonstrate it. We have to demonstrate righteousness to the nations. We lift up righteousness to the nations. We can speak against evil. We can speak against unrighteousness. But at the same time, we understand that the Lord uses everything for our good. He uses everything to move his agenda forward, and we have to trust him in these things, especially in this day and age that we're in now. There's a lot of things that we don't agree with because the world is going in the opposite direction of Yahweh. The values that are being lifted up right now are the opposite end of him. I don't need to list it all. You guys are very well aware of what's going on, and we trust him. We shouldn't lose our peace over this. We certainly should not lose our joy over this. We trust him, and what we see him speaking through the prophets should give us some assurances. When we see that he's using Babylon to bring his justice to these nations, when we see that he's using Babylon to teach a really tough lesson to his people, to his nation, but with the promise that he's going to end Babylon and he's going to rescue his people from that place. We need to understand all these things. And I know it's hard to read through these prophets. I know it's hard to read through some of the same things again and again, but there's tremendous value in it because we see, if you take the time, we don't have the time to go through it verse by verse in this format, but if you take the time to really just meditate on these great scriptures, and he'll reveal so much of himself to you. And it's great that we hear it from Jeremiah. We get it in stereo from Ezekiel. We see him calling these prophets to speak in different locations, but with the same voice. And so that just should be encouraging to us in the way that he operates. So we're going to leave it there. And you guys just have a blessed and wonderful day. And we will meet up again tomorrow.